Welcome back into the Sean podcast. I'm myself. I'm Sean Big L Shasher. This guy over here, Sean Cat Daddy Cummings. So his nicknames will be back. Cat Daddy, what you got for us?
Glad these nicknames are back. Kind of weird last time going through and not seeing those nicknames. So I'm glad they're back. But I don't know. I think I might have to change my cat daddy to maybe Cricket Killer because I had a cricket in my house the other night. And man, let me tell you, that thing was loud. I'm sitting here doing my notes, getting ready for you guys. And all of a sudden I just hear this cricket. And this cricket keeps going and going like an hour and a half. This time it stopped. It's so loud. Like, this is ridiculous. I get to the point where I'm just gonna go outside and find this thing and kill this thing. It's so loud. So I go outside, and all of a sudden it gets quiet once I go inside. I'm like, okay, it's trying to come back inside. Thing gets loud again. And then I realize the cricket's not outside. The cricket's inside. The cricket's hiding in my heating vents. So, had to deal with the cricket in the house for the past 2 nights. But tonight, one of my cats found and chased the cricket out, and we managed to get rid of the problem. So if you ever had a cricket stuck in your house, chirping at nighttime, I feel your pain. Not very fun.
Did you cover it in chocolate?
No, covered it
People
in
do that.
tissue and put it in the garbage. That's what I did with it.
Some people do that type of stuff.
Yeah, I know. This house, it's not this guy.
I had a cricket poop on me once. It was weird.
Sounds pretty disgusting.
Probably. Anyways, moving on. Let's get into it. We're going to start straight back, getting right into the news. We got a player, new contract, Mr. Jamal Adams. Sean, how about you tell people the details on this?
Yeah, Jamal Adams and Seattle Seahawks agreed to a 4-year, $70 million extension that includes $38 million guaranteed. Now, that's Adams an average of 17.5 million per year, which surpasses the previous high that Justin Simmons had just set maybe a couple of months ago. So Adams is now receiving over $2 million more per year, and Adams was able to get $3 million more with guaranteed money. Yeah, over Simmons. So good luck for Seattle because Adams was going to threaten a, I suppose, a grievance, a change of position grievance if Seattle tried to put the franchise tag on him. He's going to try to make the argument that he's a linebacker, give him, what, 3, 4 extra $1 million per year. But Seattle agreed, put the offer out there, $70 million for 4 years. Adams is a huge winner here. But you're thinking other people that won include Jesse Bates from Cincinnati because he's going to be for a contract extension
Yeah.
very soon. And Tyron from Kansas City, he
And who
may be a
else?
benefit from this as well.
Who else?
Uh, this is a safety becoming a free agent.
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Oh yeah, it's Patrick. You're thinking Adams just set the market a couple of months ago. We said the same thing about Justin Simmons. So I could see this deal getting surpassed by Fitzpatrick. I'm not sure about Matha. Matha might come close to it. Jesse Bates close. I think Fitzpatrick will surpass him.
Here's the thing, though. Personally, now no, Jamal Adams has a great skill set, but for what he's done for Seattle, like when he was in New York, I would have said this contract is, is good. But what he's been doing for Seattle, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily agree with, you know, him being put to this aspect of it. Because, like, I mean, I personally would say Justin Simmons right now as a safety is a better safety.
Yeah, Adams has definitely been involved in run stopping that he has some pass coverage. And when you're thinking of safety, you want a little bit of both. But Adams, at least recently, has looked better. Now, Adams has made the argument that he got on, what deep ball against. Oh, who was that? I
Doesn't
forgot.
matter.
Oh,
One. We're
well,
gonna
yeah.
talk about one deep ball. Come
He
on.
got beat on one ball, and I guess he's using that as, you know, yeah, he's trying to make the argument he's a good coverage guy, and I get it. He can be. He just
He
needs to
can
show it.
be.
He's they're paying for potential. They're paying for the 2018, 2019 version of Jamal Adams.
I get it. I get it. But are they going to use him this way? This is the question. Yeah. Unlike what's his name, Greg Williams thought, he's not bored, but he's not doing anything dynamic in the back end there.
Nope. Nope. It might be up to Seattle to use him the right way. He has definitely utilized better in New York. So it's up to Seattle to make sure he gets used so they can maximize that deal if they just sign him to. Otherwise, they're just handcuffing themselves to a player for 4 years. A lot of guaranteed money. You won't be able to get rid of him for a couple of years, depending on what the end of that contract looks like. So now you're going to be stuck. Somebody's tying up this huge cap space. You got to make sure you're using him properly.
Yep.
And now they have to turn their attention to Dwayne Brown on top of that because he's also set to become a free agent.
Not to mention their quarterback wants him to stay.
Yeah. Well, his quarterback might be willing to take a little bit of a cut to get him to stay.
Anyways, moving on to let's not overreact to the preseason. To where's the fun in that? Let's overreact to the preseason.
Wait. Did you just say no fun? No fun league? I saw the no fun league is back.
Oh yeah, don't get me started. I was so mad that really, dude beast moded the whole team.
Yeah.
Showed a little aggression,
Ooh.
and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's a penalty, and then Jim Mora, go sit down, old man. This is a new league. Your league died off in the '80s. That's why your team sucks. Stop.
To give everybody a little bit better of a visual of what did occur, so in the first preseason action, we saw Indianapolis running back Benny LeMay drag the entire Carolina defense for 14 yards. Now, as expected, LeMay was hyped, so he did what I thought was just some minor flexing. I mean, hell, I would have done the same thing in that situation, right? I just drug the entire
It didn't
Carolina
even look
defense
like he was
for
talking
10
to
yards. It didn't. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to call it taunting, but that's what the officials did, and now we're into the no fun league. So instead of focusing on things like holding or pass interference,
or
the
getting their
NFL
calls right.
Exactly. The NFL has decided to let its players have even less fun now. So
Nonsense.
here we are.
Nonsense.
We had this years ago. It's going to last for what, maybe 2 years. Then they're going to be lax on the rules again. And then about 4 years later, we're going to come back to the no fun league. It's just a very ridiculous cycle. The players around there have to have fun.
What it is, you got these old people who go back and think, I remember the time in my day and stuff like that, or my father's day. Man, get over it. There's one thing I do enjoy about Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. He knows how to have fun. He has no problem with his players flexing.
You know, you're telling me that back in the day, Jim Brown didn't truck like 14 people and start taunting them afterwards and saying a few choice words?
No. It's act like you've been there before. Well, act like you've been to a party.
I think the NFL is focusing on the wrong thing, where they should be shoring up the officiating, getting better.
Which it needs to be.
Officiating.
Have you seen the officiating in the preseason? Good Lord.
But that's not where they're spending their focus. And that's the frustrating part for a fan is you have guys like May who get hit with like a 15-yard taunting penalty. Come on.
Nonsense.
It wasn't even taunting. Like, he could have said some things that we were unaware of as fans watching the game, but his actions didn't look like taunting to me. He was just hyped. I get it.
So what if he cussed? Who cares? He's a grown-ass man. Anyways, onward. Let's get off of this before I get a little too emotional myself. And we'll move on to some of the quarterback play. We'll go to the veterans first. And I'm going to say this out loud. And hopefully, somehow, it resonates through something to New Orleans. Sean Payton, I get it. You're an offensive genius. But Taysom Hill is not the guy. You need to start Jameis Winston. I know, I know, he's a freaking nutbag, but he is way too talented to be kept on your bench for a guy who is mediocre at best.
The knock on Taysom Hill is he a true quarterback or is he a gadget player? Can he play quarterback for a full 16, 17 games? Or is he just that specialty player who can come in, pass, block, and throw the ball?
We saw Hill in a different person years ago. This person tried to come back recently as a tight end and just got cut. The same guy.
You mean Tim Tebow?
Yeah, same dude.
They should go with Winston, I think, if...
You watch that game, and Winston looked more decisive. His passes were crisper, better placement. He looked more like a quarterback. So, if you really are a genius, Sean Payton, how about work your magic on Jameis Winston and turn him into the guy he's supposed to be?
Not the guy who threw 36 touchdowns as well as 36 interceptions. Not
Correct.
that guy. Not that guy.
Correct.
Correct.
Now onward to another failed quarterback, Pittsburgh. If you really want to know if Dwayne Haskins is anybody, put him above Mason Rudolph, because you already know Mason Rudolph ain't the guy. I don't know what you're doing with Mason Rudolph, but this everybody knows he's not the heir apparent in Pittsburgh. Everybody but apparently Mason Rudolph and some people in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. We already know this. So if you're kicking the tires on Dwayne Haskins and all the word coming out says that Dwayne Haskins is like impressed, show us this impressive stuff. I don't want to see him against third stringers. I want to see him with the first stringers since Ben Roethlisberger has put him bubble wrap. And let's see what he got.
They're not going to put the first stringers. I mean, having him still third string says exactly what we need to know about Dwayne Haskins. He's not ready yet. He could be a long-term project for Pittsburgh. That's what it is. But long-term project, he's into a one-year deal, so he doesn't have much time to show what he's got for him. He's not the answer. Mason Rudolph is not the answer. They need to look at a quarterback in the next draft. See, quarterback's the best option. I'm not sure he's going to be available through free agency next year, but you got to look at rookies.
Right. Okay. Speaking of rookies, speaking of who you really want to hear about.
Nice segue. We want to talk about the veterans. Let's talk about the rookies.
All right, let's start with the number one overall guy, who Urban Meyer better figure something out before Trevor Lawrence gets killed. Good Lord, he had some ups, he had some moments, he had one real nice throw over the middle with touch, but he was getting hit. I worry for this kid.
Yeah, his first NFL snap was his welcome to the NFL moment, which I thought was very ironic. On the very first snap that Jacksonville took on offense, defensive lineman Sheldon comes in, strip sacks Lawrence. Lawrence was able to recover it himself. But hey, man, at that point, it can only get better, right? Your day can only get... Hopefully. It took a couple sacks. It seemed like... It's not that he wasn't comfortable back there, but he seemed to take a little bit longer waiting for plays to develop, and they got him in trouble. And he found his favorite target in Mervyn Jones. He found him.
Side note. Laviska Shenault might be a dude. Just saying.
If we're on side notes, what games is Urban Meyer playing? Because he recently was still non-committal about who's going to be the QB1.
What? He's messing with the media. We know it's Trevor Lawrence.
He says it's an open competition between Lawrence and Gardner Minshew.
Open where? Open for Minshew to sit on the bench? I
Maybe
mean,
they're trying to increase the trade value for Gardner, try and trade him if they can. Come on, Urban, what games do you play? Everybody knows that Trevor Lawrence, barring injuries, will be the quarterback out there taking the first snap when the regular season comes around. Why are you playing games, right? Are you trying to be like the Jacksonville version of Bill Belichick? You can't.
maybe
Don't
him
try.
and Bill Belichick are friends. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe he's just trolling people. Maybe that's what it is.
But moving on to the number 2 overall pick, let's go with Zach Wilson. Here's the thing: he didn't do anything bad, but he didn't do anything great.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. He was given a script of plays. He came out, he stuck to that script of plays. He looked pretty good doing it. There was nothing spectacular, but there was also nothing horrendous. No
Right.
blunders. So he just came out there. He did his job. It wasn't the
There's no
sexiest
moments
job
where
out there,
right,
but he
right.
got it
Like
done.
we just said, Trevor Lawrence had like one particular throw that just looked beautiful. Zach Wilson didn't really have that. He was just like, I'm gonna hit you, I'm gonna hit you. He threw to the open guy, and I mean nothing wrong with that.
Okay, that's how you get started. He, but the positive is he didn't take a sack in his first offensive play.
True, true. Now, from a guy who didn't do anything sexy, as you call it, to a guy who did do something sexy, let's talk about that number 3 overall pick, who had an 80-yard touchdown. Was it 80 or 75? I don't
80
care.
yards,
It
second
was 80.
play,
Yeah. Well, I mean, his
second
first
pass.
throw was dropped, so that's not on him. Then he got sacked. He was sacked 4 times, so
Yeah,
he did have some moments that didn't work out, but he showed that talent and he
he
got you
did.
excited.
It was a mixed bag from Lance, though, right? It was very mixed bag. Because the second
Oh
pass
yeah,
play that he had, 80-yard touchdown, that's a reason to get excited. But then you saw a couple of lowlights where his receivers didn't do him any favors by dropping several passes. So they clearly had a case of the drops. He's in San Francisco, but he also needs to work on his decision making because there were a couple of times where some of those passes
should
could
have been
and
in.
should
Should
have been
have. Yeah.
intercepted, and he also took a couple of sacks. So
Yeah.
it had positive, and it had a few more negatives, but there's reason to be excited.
Man, I'm killing the segues here today because you talk about not doing the QB any favors. Let's talk about them Chicago Bears because Justin Fields came in. What? All right, first false start from the receiver. Next, false start from the offensive lineman. He's already backed up, and then we have drops. Like, and then let's just look at this. The announcers tried to say it was like great play by the defender. No, the tight end fell down, and it made the defenders the only ones there to try to get the ball. Come on, come on. But later in that game, okay, and then of course, Justin Fields does what he does, which is what I worry about. He's trying to play hero ball. He did get a fumble, but after that he composed himself, and he had a really good showing. Like he looked pretty solid. I know. It's second and third stringers, yada yada yada
It
yada.
is,
He didn't.
but what do we see? Don't think about the stats because the stats can be it, they can be inflated because you're playing second and third string. They can look worse than they really are because this is the first game, first preseason game. So take out the stats, but look at what he was doing back there. Look how he composed himself. Of all the quarterbacks, he looked the most aggressive, and I love that. He was taking control of that game, and that's a great thing for Chicago.
Yeah.
He was aggressive. Of the 14 shots, 8 of them went for first downs. That's a good thing. Like, not looking at just yards, touchdowns, not looking at those. You got to go deep. Of those completions, 8 got to first downs. I didn't notice any design running plays for Justin Fields, but he sure looked good with his scrambling ability.
Right. Now, just on a side note, because I'm gonna be, I still believe in Tua. I think Tua had a good game. People want to talk, well, he threw an interception. Did you watch the interception? His receiver needs to learn to come back to the ball and stop flowing upfield where you have defenders right frickin' in front of you. So yeah, the receiver's flowing upfield and the defender steps in front. Come back to the ball, cut off that defender's pathway, get that pass. Take that hit, boy.
All right, well, if we're going to speak of second-year quarterbacks, we got to go with a little bit green and gold. We finally got to see Jordan Love in some game, right?
Hit you with your segue.
Got to learn from the best, right? We finally got to see Jordan Love up the field because he didn't see a single snap last year during the regular season. He was working that sideline, holding the clipboard. So
more
we
not
got to see
helping
him. He did all right.
Yeah, I wonder why he only did all right. That offensive line did nobody any favors. Good Lord. How many rushing yards y'all have?
It was like a vintage, like 2016-17 Packers where they run the ball 20 times, like 3 yards rushing. Yeah, it was pretty
like
bad.
that. The offensive line had a horrendous day, and Jordan Love still made plays. So
he did. He had a couple of nice throws. I'll give him that. But there was also one play where he went the wrong way on a play action pass.
It happens to everybody.
It does. It does. Does he scream, "I can take over for Green Bay right now"? No.
Well, not with that offensive line. You need a magic person.
So like Aaron Rodgers.
Magic man.
Magic man for one more year. You better take advantage of that.
I'm just saying, your offensive line needs to get its act together. I know all the stars weren't in there, but wow.
You already know how you're about losing Corey Linsley. You already know that. David Bakhtiari's injured. He's coming back. People always give Aaron Rodgers a hard time of, you have all this talent around you. Really, look at this offensive line. Right.
No, he doesn't.
It's good because of Bakhtiari. It was good because of Linsley. They held it together.
And let's be honest, Devontae Adams did not play. I don't think Randall Cobb played.
But at the same time, Jordan Love wasn't playing a first-string defense.
How you know? They may have had some first stringers in there. You never know.
They may have. That was I missed there. He wasn't playing a full strength first string defense.
Right. Now he did get hurt, but from my understanding, everything's okay. Even though they held him out of practice recently, but
he'll be good for the regular season. I'm not sure if he'll be able to play in the second preseason game. But he'll be ready for the.
Why would he be playing in the regular season?
He'll be ready to hold it for the season.
Right. Now moving on. This is not really a good segue, but from one QB who is entrenched as the starting quarterback with a backup that's young, to another QB who's not entrenched, regardless if he's a starter. And it's our final rookie that we're actually talking about, because Mac Jones, first of all, got a standing ovation from that Patriots faithful. He actually looked pretty good. He made some real good decisions. He made some real nice passes. I won't poo-poo on Mac Jones in his first little outing.
And you shouldn't. How I thought that Justin Fields was the most aggressive of all the rookie quarterbacks? I think that Mac Jones looked the most confident standing back in the pocket. His numbers would have looked better if Christian Wilkerson had held on to that 34-yard touchdown pass.
True.
But another rookie quarterback who was affected by a case of the dropsies. But, it's preseason. The stats really don't matter. The wins certainly don't matter. But Mac Jones looked comfortable back there, and I think that was a good sign.
Also, just to mention the second-year player, N'Keal Henry did not look non-existent. So there's that. I don't know what that means, but there's that.
That increases somewhat of his trade value, but I got one more rookie quarterback for you.
We do not talk about Davis Webb. We're not talking
No,
about Davis Webb.
no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. We're going to the Indianapolis Colts. Sam Butcher.
Jacob
What?
Eason actually looked better.
What about? I mean, biggest Ellinger, rookie quarterback. Doesn't surprise. He looked impressive with the arms, with the legs. He was making plays in the clutch. I mean, if he can produce like that, if Jacob Eason can produce like that when it comes to the regular season, you don't have to worry about rushing Carson Wentz back from the injury. You don't need him back sooner than later. If either of these guys can get you a couple of W's, eating those W's during the regular season, you don't have to rush Wentz back. That's going to be a great for
Jacob
Indianapolis.
Eason kind of impressed me. I'm just saying.
They both look good.
All right, moving on to our final part of this, the news, our news, which we're mainly doing preseason base. We're gonna mention some rookies that we think also showed out, possibly could be future studs. So those two North Carolina boys. I think Michael Carter looked like the best running back in New York, and then Javonte Williams looked pretty good in Denver. Oh, we forgot another second-year quarterback that looked pretty good. I know he's in a battle, but Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Lock did not look bad.
Neither did Teddy Bridgewater.
True.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, they both look actually decent.
Now it does help that Jerry Jeudy made the most disgusting move on. I'm not sure which defender it was, but he should go back and look for his pants or something.
He should. Michael Carter looked like the better New York running back, so it's only a matter of time until he gets those starter
Full
reps.
serving, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the knock on him is going to be his size. Can he handle a full workload? He won't be able to. He can serve as a thunder, the lightning to the thunder.
Being a
But-
guy who watched North Carolina, yes, he can. Here's the thing: people don't realize this. Before Devontae Williams really, positioned himself for more playing time, Michael Carter was a full-time guy. Javonte Williams just showed he was too talented not to keep on the bench. So they had to incorporate him, and the more they incorporated him, the better off he was. But they're like, we can't take Michael Carter out either, so they just figured out a way for the timeshare.
And Javonte Williams again showed how good he is and showed really why he should be getting those starter reps. He went 5 carries, 29 yards. You're thinking, okay, it's a pretty good preseason stat line, right? You didn't expect to get that many carries. So he's averaging 6 yards a carry. What was even more impressive is he was making defenders miss, just like he did in college.
Yep.
So he's showing the right traits. He's showing the right characteristics that you're looking for with the running back. And speaking of showing the right things at running back, did you see Ramondre Stevenson?
Yes.
New England's trying to close out the game, run out the clock. They're on their own 9-yard line, fourth quarter. Toss the ball to Ramondre Stevenson, and then 91 yards later, he's in the end zone.
We're back to the Bellatrix. One more running back that we'll talk about, Najee, just doing everything that it looks like Pittsburgh wants him to do. He looks like he's going to be solid coming up for the future for them.
Yeah, forcing missed tackles, and yep, he's showing why he was drafted in the first round.
Now,
He just needs a Pittsburgh offense to carry on. We're not going to talk about Travis Etienne and his impressive debut.
what would he do?
Exactly. He wasn't even on the field for the first string team. I don't think he was.
Oh, he
the
was.
first
He
string.
was at one point.
Yeah, he just had
he
no.
didn't do
offense.
nothing.
Yeah.
So moving on, just to say, because we were talking about the quarterbacks and we're talking about the running backs, but the most impressive group from this draft, maybe the linebackers. We had two on the same field with Zaven Collins and Micah Parsons, both doing their part, both looking fantastic, fast, hitting hard, and so they were looking great in that game. But also, J-O-K, my bad, J-O-K.
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
He's showing the
Yes.
NFL like, forget y'all. Y'all passed on me. Don't
You
know
also
where to play me.
you like the second round. Oh, I love that. I love that pick by Cleveland. That's like one of my favorite picks of the draft.
He looked fast. All these
Him
guys
going
look
to Cleveland.
fast and aggressive. I like it.
Ooh, I like Patrick Surtain the second.
Oh yeah.
Denver. He was targeted twice with coverage. He defended one pass and then he intercepted the other one and took it to the house. So, you know, I might have to
Where
go out and find myself a Surtain jersey out here in Denver.
where was where's JC Horn? Just wondering.
So, doing the same thing that Travis Etienne did with the starters.
JC Horn. Also, I just want to throw something in here. People, these teams know more than us when it comes to the draft. It's just what it is. I don't care what type of couch scout you are. The teams know more than you with these players. Even Dane Brugler, probably the best draft nuck out there, says the team knows more. So I'm a plug here for my own team. Nashawn Wright, overreach at a third round pick, but he's been looking good. He's been looking really good in camp. Yeah, he's taken some lumps, but he's been looking real good in the game. And yeah, Austin can knock me all he wants. I'm talking about our buddy Austin. But in that Pittsburgh game, the Hall of Fame game 2 weeks ago, Chase Claypool pushed off. Just saying, that was a penalty. They weren't calling any penalties in that game, and Chase Claypool pushed off. That was a penalty. Just saying.
I just love to shout out some of the rookies that Green Bay drafted, but
Huh?
I got nothing. The best I got from Green Bay is they traded Josh Jackson to New York for another quarterback who may or may not make the roster. So,
All right.
good
So
start.
we're going to wrap it up. I know there's some guys that we probably missed. If there's some guys that you want us to talk about, something, put in the comments. Let us know. So, Sean, you know what time it is. Words of
I know.
wisdom.
I got something this week. I'm so excited. I got
Oh.
something. Right? We're all fans. We all love the game of football. If you're at a game, don't get into a fight. It's pointless.
No, don't do
It is absolutely pointless. We're all fans of the game. I like the Packers. Sean likes the Cowboys. Do we sit here and argue? Do we ever throw fists when we're together, when we're talking about our teams? No. I think my team's better. He thinks his team is better. I respect his opinion. He respects mine. Have some
on that play
respect.
with Aaron Rodgers at the end of the game that in 2016. Just saying.
Wait, was that the one where Rodgers hit Jared Cook on the sideline?
Yeah.
Oh,
There was holding on that one. There was like the tackle like basically tackled the defensive player. But hey, neither
Well,
here nor there.
the ref should spend more time looking at that stuff, and even maybe
I
the
agree.
Dez Bryant catch, no
Fully
catch.
agree.
They
Fully
should spend more time looking at those things
You will not find an argument on that from me.
rather
Also,
than
Dez caught it. Dez caught it. Just saying.
not according to the officials.
Dez caught it. Everybody does.
All I know is pay one thing.
Yeah. Damn refs. All right.
Have some respect. Enjoy the game. Appreciate the opinions of others, even if they differ from yours. We're in this together. Come on now. Come on.
And watch your language. Come on now.
Right?
All right. My words of wisdom. Also, gonna give you some fan words of wisdom. And I know I got one of the game whatever jerseys on, but recently I found out the jersey you want to get, it's a limited jersey. It's about $30 more or so. Maybe depending on what it is. It could be about 60, but you get that you get the names and the numbers sewn on. So much better. It's not going to fade. Just saying. Eventually, the printed ones will fade. It's just going to happen.
Oh yeah. We'll just don't watch it.
Get that. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. You know, we see we secretions and stuff like that. It just happens. We're people. You know, it just happens regardless how clean you are.
So is that the Michael Irvin, the Dez Bryant, or the CD Lamb jersey?
This is
Warren?
Des. This is Des right there. CD hasn't come in the mail yet. So, yeah. But and you could have said Drew Pearson. He's
Oh,
originally
yeah.
out of Hall.
That's right.
Come on, don't
I
hate
forgot
on
what
Drew.
it was. No, I'm happy
Original
for
88.
Drew. I'm happy.
All right, that's all she wrote, people. I know I was blinking a lot. New contacts.